They march in perfect formation alongside human soldiers, their metallic skin reflecting the morning sun. These aren't robots. They're living beings who once threatened to wipe humanity from existence. The same creatures who, just 30 years ago, pointed their weapons at Earth and declared us unworthy of survival. Now they stand as our strongest allies, defending our planet against threats that lurk in the darkness of space. But how did our greatest enemies transform into our most loyal defenders? The answer lies in a story of pride, survival, and an enemy so terrifying it forced two species to overcome their hatred. This is the story of how the Nexari, a civilization that once viewed humans as primitive savages, now proudly wear Earth's military insignias and fight under human command. The Nexari's contempt for humanity stemmed from their evolutionary history. Born on a world with triple Earth's gravity and a caustic atmosphere, their species developed advanced technology simply to take their first steps beyond their caves. Every Nexari achievement came from brutal necessity, forged in an environment that killed 99% of their ancestors. Their civilization survived only through technological advancement, leading them to equate survival with superiority. When they discovered Earth, a paradise planet by their standards, they couldn't comprehend how humans had achieved spaceflight without such environmental pressures. Their technological superiority manifested in ways that turned human pride to ash. A Nexari child's educational tablet contained more computing power than all of Earth's supercomputers combined. Their civilian transport pods crossed the solar system in hours, while human spacecraft struggled for months to reach Mars. Each Nexari carried biotechnology in their bodies that could cure cancer, regenerate lost limbs, and extend their lifespans to several centuries. To them, human medicine appeared as primitive as stone tools. Scientific demonstrations became exhibitions of humiliation. During a technology exchange conference in Tokyo, a Nexari engineer transformed a cup of water into a complex computer, manipulating molecules to create processing circuits. When human scientists requested information about the process, the Nexari responded by building a primary school teaching model, suggesting it might be more appropriate for humanity's current development level. Each interaction reinforced their belief in human inferiority. Military leaders watched with mounting concern as Nexari vessels positioned themselves over major population centers. Their scout ships appeared inside supposedly secure military installations without triggering a single alarm. Human radar systems couldn't track their movements, and our best stealth technology appeared transparent to their sensors. When military commanders protested these violations of sovereignty, Nexari representatives dismissed their concerns as territorial behaviors typical of pre-spacefaring species. The Nexari's interference in human affairs escalated weekly. They shut down nuclear power plants without warning, claiming our containment protocols endangered nearby star systems. Their ships disrupted military satellite networks, stating that primitive communication systems cluttered important space lanes. They intercepted and disabled missile tests, describing them as children playing with explosives. Each intervention demonstrated not just their technological superiority, but their complete disregard for human authority. Diplomatic relations crumbled under the weight of Nexari arrogance. During the first United Nations conference, their ambassador refused to descend to the General Assembly floor, instead hovering 10 feet above human representatives in a gravity-defying chair. They interrupted human speakers to correct what they called simplistic understanding of cosmic politics. When the Secretary General attempted to establish diplomatic protocols, the Nexari delegation released floating orbs that translated her words into proper scientific language. The breaking point arrived when Nexari ships began correcting Earth's orbital mechanics. They deployed massive gravity engines to adjust Earth's orbit by several thousand kilometers, claiming the planet's position disrupted their standard navigation routes. The operation triggered earthquakes worldwide, causing widespread damage and panic. When human governments demanded they stop, the Nexari responded with educational materials about basic celestial mechanics, suggesting humans study them to understand why the adjustments were necessary. Faced with an enemy that could reshape their planet at will, world leaders struggled to find an appropriate response. Military action seemed suicidal against beings who could manipulate matter at the molecular level. Diplomatic negotiations faltered because the Nexari wouldn't acknowledge humans as equals. Humanity found itself in an impossible position: submit to the authority of beings who viewed them as primitive animals, or face potential extinction. The Nexari's ultimatum arrived 30 days after the orbital adjustment. Their message, broadcast simultaneously to every electronic device on Earth, outlined humanity's options. Either Earth would submit to Nexari guidance and oversight, allowing them to correct human development along appropriate technological lines, or they would remove the contamination and seed Earth with a more promising species. They gave humanity 1 month to surrender control of their civilization. As the deadline approached, humanity united in a way the Nexari never expected. Rather than fracturing under pressure, nations pooled their resources and intelligence, searching desperately for any weakness in their seemingly invincible opponents. This cooperation, ironically, demonstrated the very qualities the Nexari believed humans lacked. But with their ships positioned over every major city and their weapons capable of shattering continents, humanity's unity seemed like nothing more than a noble final gesture before extinction. The Nexari's fatal weakness surfaced on an ordinary Tuesday morning in Shanghai. A routine patrol through the city's suburbs triggered an unexpected crisis when 3 Nexari soldiers collapsed without warning. Their advanced medical scanners, capable of detecting the smallest molecular abnormalities, found nothing wrong. Yet within hours, dozens more Nexari fell unconscious across different global locations. Their impenetrable armor and enhanced biology offered no protection against an enemy they'd never considered: Earth's microbiological ecosystem. Their sophisticated immune systems, engineered over centuries to fight advanced biological weapons, had eliminated all natural immunity. The Nexari viewed disease as a primitive concern, something their technology had conquered generations ago. They hadn't bothered to study Earth's bacteria, dismissing them as too simple to pose any threat. This oversight proved catastrophic when common soil bacteria, harmless to humans, began overwhelming their molecular defense systems. Panic spread through Nexari command centers as reports flooded in from every continent. Their soldiers, previously invulnerable to human weapons, succumbed to microscopic organisms their sensors couldn't even detect properly. Their medical technology, designed to enhance already healthy bodies, proved useless against these primitive pathogens. The Nexari had no evolutionary defense against Earth's microbial life, and their artificial immune responses only accelerated their body's breakdown. Dr. Sarah Chun, a microbiologist at Singapore's Institute of Infectious Diseases, first identified the pattern. She noticed Nexari patrols actively avoiding certain areas of the city, particularly near urban gardens and water treatment facilities. By analyzing soil samples from these locations, she isolated several bacterial strains that seemed to coincide with Nexari patrol routes. Her research, secretly shared among human military leaders, provided the first evidence of Nexari vulnerability. The Nexari attempted to conceal their crisis, but their increasingly erratic behavior betrayed their desperation. Their soldiers began wearing sealed environmental suits, previously reserved for toxic atmospheres. Supply ships arrived hourly, carrying what humans later learned were experimental treatments. Their commanding officers stopped attending diplomatic meetings, sending holographic projections instead. Each action revealed more about their growing weakness. As infection rates escalated, the Nexari military leadership faced an impossible choice. Their ground forces were rapidly becoming combat ineffective, but their ships remained operational. They calculated that a decisive strike might still force human surrender before their condition worsened. Their internal debates, recovered later from abandoned command centers, showed their growing desperation. Some officers argued for immediate retreat, while others demanded aggressive action before their advantage disappeared completely. The hardliners prevailed. On July 15, 2088, the Nexari launched what they intended to be an overwhelming show of force. Their ships positioned themselves over major military installations worldwide, preparing to eliminate human resistance capabilities in a single, coordinated strike. But their carefully planned attack crumbled before it began. Ship commanders, fighting fever and organ failure, couldn't maintain formation. Weapon operators, their enhanced reflexes dulled by infection, missed critical targets. Their superior technology, useless in the hands of incapacitated crews, failed to deliver the decisive victory they needed. The Battle of Brisbane marked their final defeat. The Nexari dreadnought, Eternal Dominion, pride of their invasion fleet, lost altitude control when its entire bridge crew lost consciousness simultaneously. The massive vessel, still bristling with enough firepower to level a continent, crashed into the Pacific Ocean near the Australian coast. Human forces recovered not just intact Nexari technology, but also living prisoners too weak to resist. From these captured soldiers, humanity learned about a threat that would soon force both species to reevaluate their fundamental relationship. This stunning reversal of fortune revealed several critical truths. The Nexari, for all their technological advancement, had engineered away their biological resilience in pursuit of perfection. Their contempt for primitive life had blinded them to the robust survival mechanisms that evolution provided. Humanity's inferior biology, shaped by millions of years of adaptation to Earth's environment, proved more sophisticated than any engineered solution. The very simplicity the Nexari despise had become humanity's greatest strength. The Nexari's defeat, however, carried implications beyond Earth. Their ships' automated distress signals had already reached deep space, broadcasting their weakness to the galaxy. Among those who received these signals were the harvesters, mechanical entities that had stalked the Nexari for centuries. These living machines saw the Nexari's vulnerability as an opportunity they'd long awaited. Within months, their massive ships would appear on humanity's sensors, forcing both humans and Nexari to confront a threat that would make their previous conflicts seem insignificant. The harvesters arrived without warning 6 months after the Nexari defeat. Their massive ships, mechanical hives stretching miles across, first appeared beyond Mars' orbit. These living machines had hunted the Nexari across countless star systems, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Earth's isolation and the Nexari's weakened state created an opportunity they couldn't ignore. Unlike the Nexari's surgical precision, the harvesters brought mindless consumption, converting all organic matter into fuel for their endless expansion. Initial scans showed their fleet dwarfed the Nexari invasion force. These weren't ships in any traditional sense, but massive mechanical organisms that consumed entire planets. They sent no messages, made no demands. The first sign of their intentions came when their smaller units began systematically dismantling Pluto, converting its frozen mass into more of their kind. Within days, they had stripped Neptune's outer layers, their efficiency terrifying both humans and surviving Nexari. Kival, the highest-ranking Nexari commander in human custody, broke protocol to contact Earth's military leadership. Still recovering from bacterial infections in a quarantine facility, she revealed the true nature of their common enemy. The harvesters had already destroyed 3 major Nexari colony worlds, their mechanical swarms overwhelming even Nexari defenses. Their only weakness lay in their rigid, programmed behavior patterns. They followed the same tactical protocols in every invasion, making them predictable to those who understood their logic. Earth's military council gathered in an underground bunker beneath the Rockies to assess Kival's proposal. She offered complete access to Nexari military technology in exchange for a joint defense effort. The harvesters' programming couldn't adapt to combined tactics they'd never encountered. Nexari precision weapons paired with human unconventional warfare might create battle strategies beyond their computational models. However, this would require trusting the same beings who had nearly destroyed humanity months earlier. The debate raged for days as the harvesters methodically consumed the outer solar system. Some military leaders advocated letting the machines destroy the Nexari, dealing with one enemy at a time. Others saw the opportunity to gain Nexari technology through cooperation, The decision crystallized when the first Harvester scout ships breached Mars' orbit. Their mechanical tendrils reached into the red planet's surface, converting everything they touched into components for their endless reproduction. The first joint operation targeted a Harvester processing node that landed in the Australian outback. Nexari officers, still weakened by Earth's bacteria, guided human soldiers wearing modified Nexari combat suits. The human troops' natural immunity allowed them to use Nexari technology without suffering the same biological vulnerabilities. This first mission succeeded in destroying the node, but at a terrible cost. 60% of the strike force lost their lives to the Harvester's automated defenses. The casualties forced both species to recognize the need for deeper integration. The Nexari, their arrogance shattered by recent events, began sharing their military knowledge without reservation. They taught human pilots to operate their ships, trained soldiers to use their advanced weapons, and revealed the secrets of their combat systems. In return, human scientists worked to develop treatments allowing the Nexari to survive Earth's biosphere. This exchange marked the beginning of an alliance neither species had imagined possible. Combat footage from these early joint operations showed the potential of their cooperation. Human soldiers, enhanced by Nexari technology but retaining their adaptability, proved remarkably effective against Harvester units. Where Nexari tactics relied on predetermined responses, humans introduced chaos into battle equations. The machines, programmed to counter specific strategies, couldn't adapt to human unpredictability combined with Nexari technical precision. This unlikely partnership faced its first major test when Harvester forces established a beachhead in Earth's Siberian wilderness. A joint strike team, combining Nexari energy weapons with human guerrilla tactics, engaged the mechanical swarm. The battle lasted 3 days. Human troops used their knowledge of terrain to lead Harvester units into prepared kill zones, where Nexari orbital strikes could eliminate them with surgical precision. This victory, though costly, proved their combined strength could match the mechanical threat. As the war intensified, the partnership between humans and Nexari deepened beyond mere military necessity. Nexari commanders learned to trust human intuition, while human officers came to respect Nexari tactical analysis. Their shared sacrifices and victories gradually erased centuries of Nexari superiority complex. Fighting together against the Harvester's relentless advance, both species discovered strengths in their differences they'd never appreciated before. This growing bond would reshape both civilizations in ways neither could have predicted, transforming former enemies into Earth's most crucial allies. The transformation from enemies to allies accelerated through necessity and shared combat experience. Training facilities worldwide adapted to accommodate both species, creating innovative programs that merged Nexari technical excellence with human tactical creativity. The Australian Defence Force established the first joint military academy in 2089, where Nexari instructors taught advanced weapon systems, while human veterans shared battlefield adaptability techniques. These integrated training programs revealed unexpected synergies between the two species. Nexari soldiers, genetically engineered for perfect accuracy, combined their abilities with human troops' talent for improvisation. Where Nexari commanders calculated battlefield equations with quantum precision, human officers introduced random variables that confused Harvester prediction algorithms. This combination proved lethal against mechanical enemies programmed to counter conventional tactics. The first major victory under this new system came during the Battle of Saturn's Rings. A joint fleet, led by human Admiral Sarah Chun and Nexari Commander Kival, executed an unprecedented attack pattern. Human pilots flew Nexari ships through the planet's debris field, using maneuvers the Harvester's combat computers classified as illogical. When the machines adjusted their defenses, precision strikes from Nexari gunners eliminated their command nodes. The battle destroyed 3 Harvester motherships and established the effectiveness of their combined warfare doctrine. Cultural integration progressed alongside military cooperation. Nexari troops, initially reluctant to participate in human military traditions, began understanding the psychological value of ceremonies and unit cohesion. They attended human military funerals, standing at attention while learning about human concepts of honor and sacrifice. Human soldiers, in turn, adopted Nexari meditation techniques and tactical analysis methods, creating a hybrid military culture unlike anything either species had known before. Medical breakthroughs accelerated the integration process. Human biotechnology firms, working with Nexari genetic specialists, developed treatments allowing Nexari soldiers to build natural immunity to Earth's microbes. This advancement removed their need for protective suits and enabled true shoulder-to-shoulder combat operations. Some Nexari even underwent voluntary genetic modifications to better handle Earth's gravity and atmosphere, demonstrating their commitment to the Alliance. Technology transfer transformed both societies. Nexari engineers taught humans to manufacture their advanced materials, while human scientists showed them how to make their systems more adaptable and resilient. This exchange led to innovations neither species could have achieved alone. New weapons combined Nexari energy projection with human-inspired targeting systems. Combat vehicles incorporated both Nexari gravitic propulsion and human all-terrain adaptability. The most visible symbol of this transformation appeared in uniform design. Modern integrated units were armored displaying both human military insignias and Nexari clan markings. Their weapons, a fusion of both technologies, represent the physical manifestation of their partnership. Each soldier, human and Nexari alike, carries equipment that would have been impossible before their alliance. Education became another cornerstone of integration. Nexari children now attend human military academies, learning Earth's military history alongside their own traditions. Human cadets study Nexari battle doctrine and technological principles. This exchange of knowledge created a new generation of officers who view the partnership not as an alliance of necessity, but as the natural state of both species. Combat effectiveness statistics validated this approach. Joint units consistently outperformed single-species formations against harvester forces. Their success rate in deep space operations exceeded all previous military benchmarks. The harvesters, for the first time in their history of conquest, began losing ground. Their rigid programming couldn't adapt to the combination of Nexari precision and human unpredictability. Today, these integrated forces lead Earth's defense strategy. They protect human colonies across the solar system and conduct long-range operations against harvester advancement. Their ships, crewed by both species, stand as humanity's first line of defense against cosmic threats. Regular joint training exercises ensure their capabilities continue evolving, staying ahead of any potential challenges to Earth's security. The transformation extends beyond military operations into civilian life. Nexari scientists work alongside human researchers in advanced laboratories. Their children play together in specialized education centers. Former enemies now share meals, celebrate victories, and mourn losses as one unified force. This partnership, forged in the crucible of survival, has become a model for interspecies cooperation across known space. Looking back, military historians mark this integration as the moment both species truly advanced beyond their limitations. Humans gained access to technology that would have taken centuries to develop independently. The Nexari learned to value adaptation and resilience over rigid perfection. Together, they created something greater than the sum of their parts, a fighting force that combines the best aspects of both civilizations, ready to face whatever threats the galaxy might present. 30 years after their failed invasion, the Nexari now represent Earth's strongest defensive asset. The species that once condemned humanity as primitive has integrated so deeply into human society that new generations barely remember their ancestors' hostility. Their massive ships, once symbols of terror, now protect Earth's colonies and trade routes alongside human vessels. This partnership, born from desperation, has evolved into something neither species imagined possible. Modern military installations showcase this remarkable transformation. Nexari officers graduate from human military academies with honors, while human commanders master Nexari battle meditation techniques. Their combined capabilities have pushed back the Harvester threat farther than either species managed alone. The mechanical swarms, once an unstoppable force, now face an opponent whose strength lies in the very differences they once fought over. The impact extends far beyond military cooperation. Nexari architecture rises in human cities, their elegant structures blending seamlessly with Earth's skylines. Their advanced medical knowledge, combined with human biological resilience, has sparked breakthroughs in treating diseases across both species. Research laboratories buzz with activity as mixed teams tackle challenges neither civilization could solve independently. Perhaps most telling are the personal relationships that have formed. Human and Nexari children attend the same schools, learning both species' histories and cultures. Military ceremonies now honor fallen heroes from both races equally. The sight of Nexari soldiers standing guard at the tomb of the unknown soldier represents how far this partnership has evolved. The Harvester threat remains, pushing deeper into the galaxy, but they face a unified defense unprecedented in cosmic history, the perfect fusion of Nexari technological mastery and human adaptability. This alliance has become a beacon of hope for other civilizations, proving that understanding can emerge from conflict and strength can be found in differences. As humanity expands further into space, the Nexari stand beside us not as conquerors or subjects, but as equals. Their story serves as a reminder that sometimes the greatest transformations come from our darkest moments, and our worst enemies can become our strongest allies. Together, they face whatever challenges the universe presents, their combined strength far greater than either species could achieve alone.